Hi and welcome back to the Teach English in China YouTube channel. Today's vlog I'm going to be talking about someone who I met in China the second time I went. So I've taught in China at a summer camp twice before in 2018 and 2019. And I'm going to be talking about someone who I met the second time I went to China. And the person I'm going to be talking about is Xújiāmǐn, who was my teaching assistant in Huzhou. So I didn't really know what to expect because, as I said, I'd been before, but I was going to a new city, meeting new people, new foreign teachers, as well as new teaching assistants. So obviously very exciting, but a bit nerve-wracking. And I think especially before you go to China, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that maybe the people are going to be really different to what we expect, or it's going to be different, like making friends in China is going to be really different to how we make friends in England or America or wherever you're from. So I wasn't too sure what to expect, but the minute we got there, everyone got assigned a teaching assistant in the school, which was super helpful to have someone that had been there. I think they'd been there a week longer than we had, so they'd done a tour of the school already. They got to know some of the students, some of the teachers. And these teaching assistants are just the same age as I was, so I was 21. And the teaching assistants are from a university that is in partnership with the school. So they're the same age as us, so it's really nice to meet peers that are just from a completely different life situation, a really interesting opportunity. But yeah, we got to the school, the foreign teachers got assigned a teaching assistant, and we didn't start teaching on the same day. We just got to meet the teaching assistant and get to know them. And straight away, you could tell everyone was so keen to be so helpful. Everyone wanted to go above and beyond, and the teaching assistants were all really, really interested in like our own lives at home and everything like that. So the person I'm going to specifically talk about, who was really friendly and who really made my time in China a lot better, is Xújiāmǐn, as I mentioned before. So she was, as I said, same age as me at a partner university. As soon as I got there, asked me loads of questions about my life, showed me around the school, told me a lot about her life. She has a twin sister, just being really friendly and welcoming. And actually, after we had been there for a couple of days, they offered to give us Chinese names. So Xújiāmǐn not only chose a name for me, and she took like a day to decide it. I could tell she put a lot of thought into it. And she was explaining the meaning behind the characters and the meaning behind the words, and why she'd chosen that name for me. And then she spent, I think it must have been about 4 hours, teaching me how to read it and how to write it, as well as teaching me how to write her name, because her English name she chose was Xújiāmǐn, but her Chinese name, as I mentioned, is Xújiāmǐn. And yeah, she taught me how to read my own name, how to write my own name, and the phrase 我的名字是罗琳, which means my name is 罗琳. And yeah, she taught me for hours how to do this, and I really struggled because I knew no Chinese at the time, but she was so patient, and she was just really enthusiastic as well. She was so excited that I wanted to learn a little bit of Chinese and that I wanted a Chinese name. So it's really the bare minimum I was doing as well, as in learning her Chinese name rather than just her English name. But she was really excited by that, and yeah, it was just so nice. She spent so long teaching me how to write my name and how to say it. And I'll put in the video now of me trying to say my name. You can see how awful my pronunciation was, but you can see how much Xújiāmǐn had tried to help me.
我的名字是老林，他的名字是Xújiāmǐn.
Her name is Luo Ling. My name is Xújiāmǐn. 她的名字是罗琳，我的名字是Xújiāmǐn.
The second way that Xújiāmǐn really helped me and helped enhance my time in China was her and all of the other TAs decided to teach the foreign teachers some calligraphy, some traditional martial arts, some traditional dances. And again, they all had to be really patient because we were really bad at everything. But it was so much fun. And they just did this on their lunch break, just out of the kindness of their hearts. They chose to teach us these things. And like the calligraphy as well, I've kept the paper I did and everything. It's become a really meaningful memory to me. So it was so nice that they all took the time out of their day, and they also took a lot of time out to prepare these stuff for us. They took time out to get the paper for the crafts. They took time out to learn like some traditional dances to teach us. And you could tell they were really proud of what they were doing. And you could tell that the foreign teachers were having a really good time. And even though our finished products of calligraphy and the paper crafts and all this stuff were really bad, again, they were so nice and complimentary about what we'd done.
Can't do that one. I'm going to practice this one.
Like this? Yes?
Yeah.
And obviously, one of the roles of a teaching assistant in China is to help with the discipline of children in classes, because obviously I can't speak Chinese, so I can't communicate some things with the kids. But Xújiāmǐn really went above and beyond to be as helpful as possible for me. If she could see that my lesson wasn't quite going to plan, if I was struggling with something, she would jump in and help. She would explain games in a really enthusiastic way. The kids got really excited about it. And yeah, she would just do anything she could to help the lessons go as smooth as possible. And in the break time, we had a lot of free time to chat. And as I said, we spoke a lot about our lives at home. But also, she would practice her English with me. And as I said before, my Chinese was so bad, and yet she would feel the need to apologise when she's speaking near perfect English but makes a tiny mistake. But she was really thankful to have the opportunity to practice her English, which was nice because I felt like I wasn't taking as much advantage of her, getting her to spend 4 hours teaching me how to write my Chinese name. And again, on the more social sides of things, Xújiāmǐn and her teaching assistant friends all decided to throw a birthday party for a couple of the teaching assistants because they both had their birthday in the same week. But they actually decided to include all of the foreign teachers in the celebration as well, which was really nice because obviously it must be hard not being able to speak your own language. Like, they maybe wanted to speak Chinese to celebrate, but they decided to include all of the foreign teachers. And we all had cake, and there was blue icing, which everyone ended up putting on their face, which wasn't a good idea. But it was just a really exciting little celebration. And it was so nice that they had thought to include us when they're already good friends. So it made us feel really welcome in the group. And it was towards the end of the summer camp, so we got loads of fun pictures together. And it was just a really nice celebration to have everyone singing and dancing and just having a really good time towards the end of what had been an amazing summer camp. And another testament to how willing the teaching assistants are to help you was at the end of the summer camp as well. There was a closing ceremony where there was some speeches, and obviously a lot of the children can't understand English completely fluently. So one of the foreign teachers would give a speech, and then one of the teaching assistants would translate it. And again, I'll insert a clip I have of Xújiāmǐn translating for, I think it was Sam who was giving a speech at the closing ceremony.
每个人都能有一个很美好的夜晚，并且享受这一毕业仪式。
I want to thank you all again for being such wonderful students and for giving me and the other teachers an experience we will never forget.
在
And yeah, they were just so willing to help, so willing to practice to make sure everything went well for the foreign teachers. And it was really nice for me to see my friends, my friend Sam at the front with my friend Xújiāmǐn. So it was a really nice evening. And talking about the end of the summer camp, just before we left, again, we had another little celebration in the office room where the teaching assistants had actually planned a song. So they'd practiced and everything, and it was just so amazing to see them all singing it in the office. They were really emotional, and we were all so emotional. And I think it's to say goodbye to someone who you've spent 2 weeks working really closely with, who you've become really close with. It was just a really emotional goodbye, which I think shows how much we all touched each other's lives. Like, it was just a really meaningful time, and it just shows how, like, no matter where you are from the world, if you're the same age, you're probably going to get on. and probably have quite a few shared experiences. And talking about the closing ceremony actually as well, they did a dance performance that they had spent ages preparing, and it was so choreographed. It was like something you'd see on Britain's Got Talent. They'd done so much work because the foreign teachers also had to do a performance, and we ended up singing a song and it was awful. But luckily we went before the TAs, otherwise that would have been really embarrassing. But yeah, they put so much time and energy into learning this dance, so it was really impressive to see. I hope you can see from this video that actually it's really easy to make friends wherever you go, even if you're going to China, where somewhere you think you wouldn't have things in common with people. I didn't know much about China before I went the first time, or even before I went the second time. Obviously my experiences were really limited. But yeah, I didn't know if people were going to act the same way as what I thought, if people were going to have the same sense of humour or whatever it might be. But actually, when you meet someone who is just your age at university, similar to you, you have so much in common, you have so much to talk about, and it ends up being really upsetting when you have to leave them because you've become really close over 2 weeks. And I know I would love to go back to China and see Xújiāmǐn or my teaching assistant Elsie from the first time I went to China, because I have so many similar stories of her just going above and beyond to help me. But yeah, I hope that's maybe put your mind at ease if you're worried about making friends in China, or if you're not sure what to expect. I hope this video has been somewhat helpful. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!